What do you need to do in advance when you think you have a job interview coming up or you want to apply to a job somewhere? Well, first thing I do is scope out where I'm going to apply. Try and talk to some employees, figure out what they like about where they're working, what they don't like about where they're working, who the contact is for the position, who the hiring manager is, the process to apply. There's always sometimes easier ways to apply. For example, our company that I work for now uses a recruiter for careers. So a position might be listed online, but you have to go to the recruiter and apply there, and then they have to accept you before your resume gets sent to the hiring manager for the position. So it's important to know that you can't just find out about a job, hand in your resume, and think that you can get the position. You have to go through the online website to apply. Other things it says to consider: shopping for interview attire. I usually bring a friend with me when it comes to purchasing items for interviewing clothes. Dressing professionally is not my best suit, however, best quality. Last time I went to I think I went to Lane Bryant, and I asked the lady behind the counter, I said, "Hey, I got an interview tomorrow. I really need something nice to wear. Can you please help me out?" And they picked out all the different items that I needed that would look professional for that job. Sometimes it's important not to dress too high or too low. So dressing too low might be jeans and a t-shirt. Dressing too high might be, we did a group interview one time on the TMS team. This lady came in, and I would say she was dressed up a little bit too much. She had a lot of makeup on, a lot of jewelry, and the jewelry she wore these bracelets. They were loud, and she talked with her hands. So as she's moving her hands around, like it was so distracting. And to me, I was thinking, our clients would have such a hard time focusing on her if I'm having a hard time focusing on her. So being mindful of how much jewelry you're wearing, perfume. You're wearing perfume. You don't want to wear a lot of perfume to a job interview. If the person has an allergy, you just don't know those things. Other things to keep in mind is to have somebody look at your resume. I usually have 2 sets of eyes on my resume. I give that to my vocational specialist at the VR, and I also have a friend look it over, or I went to the college, Lake Tech. They have the wonderful employment office downstairs in the student lounge, and those ladies are awesome, and I had them look over my resume. They gave me a bunch of tips. My resume the first time I did it was very crowded, too much information that you already know about underneath each job listing or job description. It was like a cut, copy, and paste. I looked up working as a certified nurse assistant, right? Google certified nursing assistant job description, cut, copy, paste the job description, and then I put it in my resume. I brought it to the career specialist and showed them, and they're like, they know that you do meal preparation, dietary needs, bathing, showering, all those things. What was the things that stood out that you did on that position? That's what they need to see. They need to see what makes you worth hiring in a very small amount of words, because it doesn't want to be overwhelming. They're going to look at your interview or your resume very quickly, or not your interview. Your interview might take some time. They're going to look at your resume quickly. Also, cover letters. Cover letters are very important in today's world, because when you apply for a job, you're going to send an email attached to your resume, typically to a lot of places, or you're going to do an online application where you can upload your resume and upload your cover letter. And your cover letter can make and break and decide whether you get a job. My cover letter I wrote, again, with the ladies at the Wake Tech and the Employment Resource Lounge. My cover letter was very unique for this last job that I applied for, because I'm a peer support specialist. So part of my job description is that I have dual diagnosed mental health, substance abuse experience, and then I've kind of been in the system. So also they expect you and want you to be transparent on your job because part of your job is self-disclosure. So in my cover letter, I say, hey, I'm a peer support that has knowledge of different recovery programs. I have dual diagnosis for mental health and substance abuse. I have experience in both, well aware of different pathways to recovery. These are my expertise. This is why you should hire me. Um, the lady at Wake Tech that looked over my cover letter the first time was like, I don't know if you want to tell a substance abuse or tell the job that you're applying about this dual diagnosis you have. So I had to quickly explain to her what a peer support specialist is. And I say all that to say it's important to know what job you're going to apply for, what the requirements and expectations are, and then to kind of add little hints of that into your resume and cover letter, and to always have more than one set of eyes on your cover letter and resume before you send it off. And always double check before you send it off. One thing I did find difficult when I do send out resumes and cover letters is always what do you put in the subject line of an email that you're interested in a position, because there's probably 100 different people applying for the position. What can you write in that subject line that's going to make them open your email and actually look at it? Or what are you going to put on your cover letter that's going to make you be the one to get hired or stand out? I don't put pictures on any of my stuff. I did put like your next peer support specialist in the subject line in the last job that I applied for because I thought that would be different, and it worked.